Hey everybody, welcome to the channel Moina Bass Fishes. I'm Jim Moina and I bass fish. So in this video we're going to talk about my first 3 days of practice here at Lake Mohave, which is the site of the 2023 One Bass US Open. Really excited to be out here. It's fun just to drive out here, just driving through the wide open spaces of the West is just really cool. I mean, being a professional bass fisher, you do a lot of driving, and it gets old and monotonous. And but driving out west, I mean, it's because I don't do it that often. It's just really cool. So, anyhow, let's get to the fishing. All right. The first thing, the coolest thing that I've seen in a long time, anywhere, I saw right away the first day here, and that was I probably put the boat in late morning on the first day, and so the way this launch is set up at Catherine's Landing, you walk. There's like the marina kind of tucks in kind of to the side of this landing here, and or at least on one side of it. And so as I'm walking to the dock, I'm walking along this, it's like this walkway which is way above the marina right there, the marina basin, and then you go down to the boat landing. So I'm walking along, and I'm like, of course, you know, sunny and calm, of course I'm going to be looking into the water. And I look and I see a couple of carp down there, and actually I see 3 fish. And I'm like, wait a minute, there's like 2 big carp and 1 small carp. I mean big carp, I mean really big carp. I'm like, wait a minute. So then I step over the fence and walk a little closer, but I'm still, I mean, it's still a ways down, but sure as heck, that was like a 4-pound largemouth with those 2 giant carp. So, and I've seen this on rare occasions, but I think these largemouth, what they just like to trail behind these carp that are, you know, these carp are rooting around and digging up things and scurrying bait, and the largemouth is there just to capitalize on anything that gets scurried out of the way. So I thought that was really cool. Well, then I walked another 15 yards and I saw 1 big carp and another like 3 to 4 pound bass with that one doing the same thing, just kind of sitting there right behind the big carp, and you know, trying to grab whatever it can that the carp scurries up. So that was really cool. So I mean, I haven't even made a cast in this lake, and I'm so jacked up. And the first thing I do is I send a text to Billy Egan. I ask him if we can fish these marinas here, and are they on limits or off limits for the tournament? And of course they're off limits. so boy, there's probably that marina there's probably full of all kinds of largemouths, because there's no cover in the lake. There's no docks, there's no weeds, there's no laydowns, there's no standing timber. It's just rock. And that marina there's probably got just a heck of a lot of largemouth. But anyway, so that was the first thing. So the first day, I probably, you know, it's been kind of a struggle. This is, I mean, this is not that hard of a lake, and I've been kind of struggling. The first day I caught maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 keepers. I think they have to be 13 inches. Biggest one was like 3 pounds. It was a smallmouth. In fact, I think all my keepers were smallmouth that first day. And then yesterday, what did I do? I caught like a 4.5 pound smallie, another one like 3.5, and then just, I don't even know if I had 5 keepers though. So it was kind of a grind. And then today it was really tough again. Until I made one adjustment, then I at least started catching some keeper largemouths. and I caught a couple keeper smallmouths, but nothing really big. And I think I caught the deepest bass I've ever caught in my life today. It was like a largemouth. It was probably like 3¼ pounds, and it was down in 50 feet of water. I was using my active target, and there's this rock hump, and then it just drops right down into deep water, and then right at 50 feet down there, it kind of leveled out, and I could see a fish sitting down there. So I pitched over there with a drop shot, and sure enough, caught. And I saw another fish. So there was two fish down there, as it turns out, because I was looking at the one that I spotted, and then as my bait was coming, I saw another one move into the area, and then the two just kind of disappeared into the bottom signal. But then I felt the bite, so I got one of the two. Anyways, it was nice largemouth. But yeah, so I've done a lot of drop shotting. That's how I caught my big smallie the first day, or the second day, I mean. I've also been doing some Nico rig fishing, jig, all-terrain tackle football jig fishing, top water. So top water's not really doing much. I don't know. I might have to change the top water. I'm throwing some jerk baits, some swim baits. The swim baits, the bass come up, look at them, and go down. I've had several fish come after my swim baits and just not even bite it. So, and I'm using the Lowrance Active Target a lot out here. But when that sun got really high today, I just could not. The fish must have been just sucked right to the bottom, and when they're sucked to the bottom, I cannot pick the fish off the bottom. I mean, I can't. The electronics will not differentiate the fish from the bottom if the fish is sitting right on the bottom. Unfortunately, only until you get right over the top of it, then you might be able to see it. But that's what that high sun does. So. And so instead of going around and just looking for fish with that thing, I just started, and this helped me a lot. I just started casting to likely, targets, and I was still using an active target, but instead of using it to spot fish, I was using it to spot a big tall rock outcropping or a taller rock on top of a rock hump or rock point, or there's a few cases where you might see a bush down there, so you'll see that. So you may not see the fish in that bush. Cast to it, and you might get a bite. And same with the rocks. You'll see a big rock sitting on top of a hump, and you throw over there, and you don't see the fish until you see your bait falling. You see your bait sinking, and then all of a sudden you see the fish come up to the bait. That happens a lot. A lot of fish out here are not biting my baits. I think this tournament's gonna be a tournament where who has the best lure that the fish will actually bite, not just look at. Because a lot of these fish are just looking at my stuff, and it's pissing me off. So I think what I need to do, and I'm starting to more rapidly rotate through different baits. I'll put a bait on for a while, and soft plastic bait under my drop shot, and after a certain amount of time, I'll just get rid of it and put on a new one. And I don't know, nothing's really stood out really as to the key bait to have tied on, but I got several more days to practice. Well, tomorrow is Thursday, so I got Thursday, Friday. I got 3 more days to practice. So it's supposed to get super windy, but I'll be just rotating through different baits, different colors, and just trying to figure out what soft plastic is going to be the magic ticket for me here. So anyhow, yeah, and I'm not finding fish in shallow water. That's just not see. I mean, I've caught some runty largemouths shallow, but I've only had one quality bite up shallow. Otherwise, things are coming out in deeper water, like 25 to 30, and even that one that I mentioned earlier that was down at 50. So the big smallmouths, I'm just not catching enough of them to really say where they're at. But and I tried a blade bait too, and that's, you can't. It's hard to fish. I don't know. This water is super clear. I mean, when it goes flat, you can see 20. You can see the bottom at 20 feet, and when it's that clear, any artificial bait I want to be using, I got to be moving it fast. I feel like, so like the blade bait, to fish a blade bait down 30. In order for it to stay down, you got to reel it slow, and then it's just too dang. I don't know. I'm not a blade bait expert, so maybe that's part of the problem. But it's just, I guess maybe if I just start ripping it, dropping it, ripping it, dropping it, maybe that's what I got to do to trick them on that. But anyhow, what else? What else do you guys need to know? So I guess that's about it, really. So we got 3 more days to practice, and got a lot of wind to deal with. So anyhow, let's just cut it right here. Thanks for watching. Over.